So I have another art pen to show you. I'm saying that because I just made a video of the Pelican art series. So here's another pen based on art, and it is a Scribo. And as you know, Scribos come in this beautiful blue box. When you see this blue box, you know there's a Scribo in there, right? At least, I mean, most people do, because this is like their signature color. The pen that I'm going to show you today is the Scribo Piuma Art, and it is a put your damn sunglasses on because it's bright. It is fluorescent yellow, and yes, it does glow in the dark with a black light. So if you want a pen to take out to the club, a pen that you can wave around in the air like you just don't care, this is your pen. It's so bright. So what it is meant to have is a pop art influence. And you might recall pop art, maybe you don't recall, maybe this is something new for you, but pop art happened around the late 1950s through the 1960s. It ended with, people were starting to turn to minimalism and stuff. But pop art is a very popular time in art history because it has to deal with the examination of consumerism, basically using everyday objects, commercial materials, advertising, product labels, products themselves as art. So, there's this distinction that happened where you can't tell the difference between art and product. So it's a very interesting time in art history. You might recall famous artists of this time being like Roy Lichtenstein, Andy Warhol. That was your little art history lesson of the day. What I'm going to show you is the fluorescent yellow pen, which is meant to communicate those pop art vibes. I'm still trying to figure out how exactly, because when I think of pop art, I don't think of fluorescent yellow, unless they're trying to communicate like fluorescent signs, perhaps. I don't know. I think of more reds and blacks, and I think of Andy Warhol, of what he tried to. Anyway, I do like this pen a lot. So I've been writing with it for a couple months. Appelboom was kind enough to send this over to me to use and to review. So it is on loan. It will be going back, just simply because, just like you guys, I have a pen budget to maintain as well. I wish I were filthy rich where I can buy any pen I wanted, but unfortunately I'm not. But I do feel very fortunate that these pens are sent over to me to play with, so that way I can communicate how I feel about them to you. And that could help inform your pen choice. Let's take a closer look at the what this pen came in. So the box, this is the outer sleeve. It slides right out, and you can tell what it is. All this has been scratched out. It's like they weren't sure what it was. Oh, maybe it's this. Well, maybe it's not. So they scratched it out and put, looks like they weren't sure about what kind of pen it was or the nib size. But it is an art. And it has a double broad nib in it. I know. If you're into broad nibs, this one's really broad. So let's open up this box, and inside, which I think is really cool that Scribo does, the pen always comes in its own pen case. So it's a canvas pen case with a leather wrap around it. It actually has space for 2 pens and a little thing here for a polishing cloth, which is in there, which I did not take out and use, but there's a polishing cloth in there. So I think that's really cool. You could probably keep like a tiny little notebook in it as well and just carry this in your bag. That's very cool. Instead of having just the very loud, crinkly plastic sleeve that pens come in, this is way nicer. There's also some literature. I'm taking it out of the box right now. It says Scribo. Scribo. Feel the writing. Feel it. Here you have pretty much your warranty and stuff about the company, stuff like that. So I'm not going to take that apart and show it all to you. I think we should just use this time to take a closer look at the pen. That's just my opinion. Maybe you feel the same way. You probably do. A closer look at it, if you will. It's bright. Isn't it bright? That's crazy, but it's fun. It is a lot of fun. And right now I have it inked with a Scribo Viola, or it's a really beautiful deep purple ink. So you can't see it, but so this pen, it is a cigar shape, and it has just two facets. So there's a facet that goes down the barrel of this direction, another facet on the back, and that way it prevents the pen from rolling around, especially if you do not have the cap over the nib and you have this just resting on your desk. It's not going to just roll off. So that's really nice. The clip is really nice. It's not like super stiff where you can't slip this into your pocket or anything. The finial has I don't see if you could see the feather, little metal feather, which is the Scribo logo. And then etched into this facet right here, it does say Scribo. So there you go. Let's look at that nib, because I did tell y'all it does have a double broad. Here's that nib. It is a double broad, and it has a nice ebonite feed. This thing, it is an absolute rock star when it comes to writing. It's got a nice, thick, juicy line, a little bit of line variation because the flex, or it's not a flex nib, but the nib is a bit bouncy, and it's super nice. It's very comfortable in the hand. There is a bit of a step right here between the barrel and the section, but I don't find it to be bothersome at all. I mean, I can feel it. I mean, it's Scribo. Feel the writing, and I'm feeling it, y'all. But it's not bothersome. But yeah, that's just, look at that broad nib. I don't know if y'all could see that very well, but oh my goodness. The pen is a cartridge converter. I do still have it inked right now. I've been using it, as you can see. It's just over halfway empty. Yeah, but it does use a lot of ink. I've actually filled this pen twice now because when you're writing with it, it does use quite a bit of ink because of that double broad nib. Does it post? Let's see. I mean, kind of. You could post it, but I don't really think it's necessary. It seems like it would because it's tapered here at this end, but it doesn't really want to stay on there. So, and I'm not going to force it because, again, this pen is on loan and I'm not going to mess it up. The next thing you're going to see is a video of the unboxing of this pen, the inking of this pen, as well as a writing sample. So I'll be right back. You know, one thing that I like about this pen, the craftsmanship is really good. You know, the Scribo pens are made very well. So I like when I put this cap back on, the facet, I don't think you could see it very well, but it lines up every time. And to me, that is like so awesome. It really is. When things don't line up, it really pisses me off because it's like, especially when you spend a lot of money on a pen, it doesn't want to line up. The threading isn't good. That's just wrong. It really is. So speaking of price, this pen runs around $500 to $550 US. Again, you get a really awesome nib with it. It's a resin barrel and cap. So I don't know if that makes a difference to you. This pen is also a limited edition. It is, I believe it's limited to 219 pieces. So I think it's a very strange number for that to have, but 219 pieces. One of them is here with me. It will be going back to Appelboom. So if this is something you're interested in, feel free to contact Yost. 500 to 550. Scribos do tend to run a little expensive in my opinion, but I do feel for the cost of the Scribo pen, I really feel like you're getting a lot for your money. I mean, you get a really great nib. Their nibs are great. I have two Scribos of my own. I have a Piuma and I have a Feel, and they write beautifully, just beautifully. And this one performed beautifully as well. So for that price, you get an outstanding nib performance. The ink flow is fabulous on this, and it's a collector's item. So, you know, it's limited. If this is something you're interested in, I highly advise you to contact Yost Appelboom and see if they have this in stock. Otherwise, they will have this one back in stock not too long from now. So this could be your pen in the video. So who knows? Thank you so much for joining me for this look at the Scribo Piuma Art. It's very fluorescent art that you could take out with you at night and get that black light shining on it and have a little private party with the pen, right? All right. So thank you so much. That's all I have to say about this pen. And that's how the ink flows.